Run your finger on the surface of the paper to find the scored long lines, the horizontal lines and the vertical lines. These need to feel like valleys, and you'll be able to feel that with your fingers. Fold one line, then unfold it, and then fold the next line, making sure that you follow those scored lines and you're folding face to face. You don't fold the paper over each other, you just fold one line, one at a time. You can turn your paper around and fold from the other end, but just make sure that all of the valleys are on the same side of the paper. Nice firm creases. Your paper will naturally start to curve at one end. Fold all of the shorter long lines with nice firm creases as well in the same direction. So the surface of the paper is going to have a lot of lines folded in it, and they're all going to be valleys. So they're all in the same direction. Just make sure that your creases are nice and firm and crisp. When you finish folding all of the lines, your paper will curl right over. It will actually be quite curly. Hold it into the light so that you can see the entire grid on the surface of the paper. And keeping that side up, I want you to look for the diagonals that are inside each of the squares in the pattern. You'll be folding those diagonals up. We call these hills. This is in the opposite direction to the long lines that you folded into valleys. Make sure that you do not fold those diagonal lines outside of the square within which they're contained. They're just contained inside the square. It's very important to fold them just inside the square. You can use a pinch fold, or you can put the paper on the edge of a table . The paper's been scored, so it should naturally fold into the diagonals. Make sure you fold every single diagonal in one direction . And then you can turn the paper around and fold all of the opposite diagonals, the ones that are going in the other direction. It's very important that you crease all of the diagonals because that will really assist the pattern to form into the glide reflection. You'll start to see little roofs appear where the diagonals have been folded across one another. These occur within the square. When you've folded all of the diagonals, you will see these little roofs much more clearly. For instance, there's a little roof here and here and here. They should be all over the surface of the paper. Now push the paper together from edge to edge to see the pattern forming. You can be quite forceful with your paper. It's going to resist you at times, but you need to be the master of this material right now. You will see that the pattern repeats row by row, and each one of the little roofs inserts itself into the halfway point of the next row. That's actually what the glide reflection is, and this is the pattern that you're looking for. You must remember that all the long lines that you've folded into valleys must remain valleys. You will find that some sections are poking up when they should be down, and you just need to gently nudge those in with your finger. Some people like to fold in the opposite direction so that all the little roofs are actually little cavities. So it's up to you what feels comfortable for you. But you're always going to maintain the tension with one of your hands as you fold and creep along with the other hand, and tapping at the paper, which will start to curve, and also poking down those tense bits. The areas of tension are caused by the paper folding in the wrong direction, so that's why it's very important to see the pattern. Watch the video a couple of times, stop and start, be patient, because this is the hardest part of the fold process. Once you've folded one half of the Lumiball, you might want to turn the paper around and continue folding from the other direction. When you get past the halfway point of the folding, the paper will naturally give in to you, and it will fold up like magic into the glide reflection pattern. It's a bit tricky, so have a go. Don't be worried if you make a little tear, because that will just be a little signature point with the light shining through at the end. When you've folded all of the sections, you need to give your paper a good squeeze. Fix up any of the rogue sections that are going in the wrong direction, which often happens on the edges of the paper. And then look for the mountain range formation that you've created along the short edge for the Lumiball, and it's on the long edge for the Lumitall. Your paper is now extremely flexible and extremely stretchy. For the Lumiball, gluing together will require you to find the edge of the pattern and unfold it a little bit so that you can see where the pattern will repeat when it's slotted into the other edge. So unfold at around row 3. And you'll find that you need to put glue on 3 triangular surfaces. Put your hand up inside of the Lumiball to hold the surfaces underneath, and then use some quick drying glue, some strong quick drying paper glue or adhesive or paste to glue together each of the sections. When you've finished gluing the edges together of the Lumiball, you can Give it a good rummage and squeeze just to make sure that it's a continuous pattern, and you can manipulate the shape into either a spherical or slightly spherical expandable object. The bases are easy. They're scored and they're also printed with red and green lines. All you have to remember is that green means a valley and red means a hill. Fold the hexagonal shape first. And then pinch fold the sides into hills and valleys. It will form a little flower type of shape that will house your LED. It's quite beautiful and quite biomimetic. Press them in, encourage the shape of the base to be like a little cup, and then you'll place your LED inside of it. The small base will actually stop the lamp from collapsing in on itself. To turn the LED on, you need to twist the top of the LED clockwise while you're holding the base. They're quite bright and they should illuminate your lamp beautifully. The Lumitall is different to the Lumiball in that the mountain range occurs along the long edge, and when you finish folding, you need to rotate your paper 90 degrees and with both hands lift it up into shape and simply glue it edge to edge. You'll find that this structure is completely different to the Lumiball. It's much stronger and sturdier and less flexible. I hope you enjoy making these lamps as much as I do. This is a wonderful STEAM project where we embed the arts into science, technology, engineering and maths. I really hope you enjoyed it. Visit parabola.zone for more information about the project.